She posted our private messages for clout. I sued for defamation and garnished her income. I'm Jalen, 29, and I'm telling you this at 2 a.m. cause I can't sleep. Shit's still running through my head like a broken record. It was just a regular Wednesday, and I was sitting on my couch in that 2-bedroom apartment I share with my homegirl Monique. I had just clocked out my shift at the auto shop, wedged deep under a customer's truck all day. My back was atchin', and the radio in the corner was blinking with static cause I'm 2 months behind on that bill. I looked at my phone, no messages, no missed calls, nothing. I was about to lay back and pass out when my phone buzzed. It was a notification from Instagram. The first thing I saw was a story, a screenshot of our DMs. My heart dropped. Those messages from her, my ex Asia, were all over the screen. Private stuff, raw stuff. I'd been honest in those DMs, telling her things nobody else knew. Now everybody could see. Elbows on the table, I pressed play and my stomach twisted. She had blown up every word, my voice memos, that time I admitted I was struggling to keep my car payments straight, and all the ways I told her I was still in love, even though we broke up last month. Then she put this big caption. Y'all wanted receipts. Here's the real Jalen. Don't say I didn't warn ya. I felt my whole body go numb. I popped out my phone and started scrawling comments. People Logan, people hatin', folks talking 'bout. He ain't shit, that boy soft, she did him dirty. I slammed my hand on the table. Nah. My mind was spinning. I kept thinking, how could she do me like that? How could she put me on blast when I helped her through her own mess? I backed up our texts in my head. 2 years ago, I was working in the field serving tables at that family-run barbecue joint on 8th Street. I had no direction, just sundress shifts and hustling for cash. Then I met Asia at a block party by the community center. She had that long braids look, looking fresh in a tie-dye tube top and ripped jeans. Her laugh was loud in the summertime air. She slid over to my table, slid me a wink, and asked, "You work here all day?" I shrugged. "Yeah." Then she said, "You wanna catch a juice later?" And that was it, nigga was hooked. We fell into that hustle of quick. She was working 2 part-time jobs, one at that nail salon and another soaking up tips on Sunday at that corner deli. I started running with some side hustles too, delivering pizza on my bike, doing odd jobs for Jersey City folks who needed yard work or a hand moving furniture. I was steady savon for my car note and bills. Any spare dime I had, I sent her way so she could pay her tuition at the community college. She wanted to be a paralegal. I was like, "Whatever, baby, you good." When she missed her car note and got her lights cut, I put down some cash. When she needed rent, I covered. I was straight broke paying her school and rent and the bills. We moved into that rent-stabilized 2-bedroom by the projects on Fulton Avenue. $1, $200 a month split 3 ways, me, her, and our roommate Dewan. Our room was right off the kitchen, near the cracked window that buzzed in the spring. I'd come home tired, crawled into bed, smelling hot grease on my clothes. She'd be in the living room, laptop open, writing papers for school, foot tapping to some old-school track. I loved that sound. Some days we argued, usually over money. She'd say, "You gotta do better." I'd snap back, "You know what I got going on." But I never left her short. I was proud that she was getting her degree. I told her, "When you finish, you gon' sign big shit." And she'd give me that smile, teeth bright, saying, "You always believe in me." All that ended 2 months ago when I found out she was posting pics on her Snapchat story with some dude who worked at the deli with her. One time, I saw them Logan in the break room, his arm round her shoulder. I felt that twist in my chest, but I blew it off. They just friends. But then I heard she posted a video they recorded together, making out in the stock closet at the deli. That hurt like hell. But still, I told her, "We can work it out." But she didn't want to talk. She said she needed space and found out she was pregnant with his kid. I grabbed an Uber and rushed to her apartment, but she closed the door in my face. She looked me dead in my eyes and said, "Don't ever call me again." I was destroyed. I went back to my room that night, threw my phone across the room, and cried like a bitch. I felt embarrassed in my dirty t-shirt and sweatpants. I kept thinking, I paid this girl's bills, held her down, and she hit me with that. Days later, I walked down Lafayette to meet my homegirl Shanice at that new bodega on the corner. I was staring at the ceiling, lost in my thoughts. She asked, "You good?" I shrugged and told her what happened. She slapped my shoulder, said, "He was playing you, fam. You let that shit slide." I stayed quiet, my pride stung, like I let myself get played by my own boo. After that, the move out was quiet. She packed her shit, left a note on the table. "Your package is at the door." I didn't even read it. I just saw the box by the door. Inside were the paintings she made for me, my old shirts, the framed pic of us at that carnival last summer. I tossed it all in a dumpster down the block. Now back to her posting our private messages. That night, I was too angry to sleep. I texted her, "Delete those." No response. I texted again, "Take that down. You trippin'?" Still no reply. So the next day, I went to work at the auto shop, put my head under another hood, tried to block it out. But my phone buzzed every minute, alerts from social media, screenshots blowing up. Some people had saved the messages, posted them in Facebook groups. I felt embarrassing, humiliated, like everybody in the hood was looking at me. After work, I walked to my cousin Marquise's house on Jefferson. He's always given me wisdom. I sat on his couch, spit about what she posted. Marquise stared at me with that look, like he was disappointed. He said, "Bruh, you can't let her just do you like that." I said, "What I do, though?" He said, "We get them receipts. We talk to a lawyer. She trying to put you on blast, defame you, fuck that. You gotta clap back on paper." I leaned back, thinking law firm? I never did nothing like that. But I was tired. Tired of her dragging me through the mud, telling my business to the whole world. I needed to do something. So the next morning, I scraped up gas money and rode the bus to downtown. I walked into that legal aid clinic, mismatched chairs, people waiting, kids fussing, and I sat down. I told the lady there. She posted my DMs, said I'd be cheating, said I ain't work. She listened, nodding her head. She said, "That's defamation. We can file suit." I felt a flicker of hope, like a noose loosening around my neck. I paid $50 for the paperwork, used my last cash for the filing fee. I texted my cousin. I filed on her. Back at the apartment, I started taking screenshots of everything she posted. The messages, the comments, the way people were dragging me. My knuckles hurt from tapping the screen. I emailed all that to the lawyer. He said he'd serve her papers. I felt that buzz, like payday was coming. I knew she worked that receptionist job at a chiropractic office. Her hours were 9 to 5. I figured I could get a wage garnishment when we won. While all that was happening, my life was still a mess. My car was breaking down, transmission going out, and I was missing shifts. I couldn't even get a ride cause my cousin's car was already full. I had to borrow the bus fare from Monique. She always hooking me up. I felt guilty, but I was too busy watching my phone for lawyer updates. One day, I got a call from my lawyer. "We won," he said. "Defamation claim awarded you $8,000. And she makes $1,500 a month net at that receptionist gig. We can garnish 30% of her pay. That's about $450 a month coming to you until debt's paid." I sat on the couch, heart hammering. I was shook like, "Damn, this shit real." I said, "Okay. Let's do it." After that, I felt some relief, but also felt like shit. Somebody told me, "You chillin' now?" I nodded, but I couldn't shake that guilt. I was taking her checks every month. She was paying rent and bills on that money I already owed her, like her share of our old apartment. Now I was snatching her checks. I felt a twist in my chest, like I was dragging her into this pit too. But she started it. She put me on display for clicks and likes, so I had to do my move. The weeks went by, and I got them garnishment payments, $4.50 every 2 weeks. I used that to fix my car, catch up rent, pay off the boy who fronted me that $500. It felt good. I was back on my feet. I bought a new pair of Jordans even though I didn't need them. It was a flex, my little win. Meanwhile, she was mad broke. Word on the block was she got let go from that receptionist job. People saying she was always distracted, crying in the break room cause people were saying nasty stuff about me. She started working at a food truck on Saturdays, lines snaking around the block. Some folks I talked to said she moved out that apartment and went back to her mama's place in Brooklyn. Her mama was old school. Everybody in her family heard about the suit. I felt sorry for her sometimes. She paused in my DMs for fame. Now she don't have nothing. But fuck that. She chose to use my life for clout. One night I was sitting in that chair at Monique's, watching TV, some reality show. My phone buzzed. Payment sent. I flipped it open, $4.50 from her. I threw that phone down, looked at the ceiling. I felt proud and dirty at the same time. We spent 2 years together. I shared my last slice of pizza with her sometimes. Now she's paying me. I let that sink in. My boy Dimitri invited me out to the barbershop for a fade, but I ain't feel like talking. I needed to process. I walked to that old bodega on the corner and got a soda, watched the street. Cars honking, kids running to catch the bus. I thought about every DM I sent her, how I begged her to come back, told her I fucked up, all that. Now she was paying me off. I felt like a savage. My soul felt heavy. Days turned to weeks. I still got money from her checks, every 2 weeks. I paid that boy my last $500, got rid of my old bags of debt. I put some in savings, $1.50, 'cause I'm still fucking broke most times. I bought a treadmill from OfferUp for $75. I'm trying to get my weight down. I got extra weight since I've been stress eating. People started looking at me different. At the shop, clients asked, "Yo, you that guy who sued his ex?" I'd shrug, half smiling. I felt kinda famous, like I did something epic. But every night when I'm in bed and the TV's off, I think about her, crying with her mama in that Brooklyn apartment, with the cops all over, rumors spreading. I think, damn, did I go too far? Time passed. My lawyer said she filed appeal but got denied. She had to pay interest on top, so now she owed like $9,200. She tried working for this cleaning crew, sweeping floors, but they kept talking more than 30%. She fell behind on rent at her mama's. I heard she got kicked out and now ghostin'. I feel this mixture of triumph and shame. I remember the day I saw her at that deli. She had on that same tube top she wore when we first met, but it was dirty now, stretched out. She looked at me, eyes wild, no words. I said, "You all right?" She shook her head, looked away. I dropped $2 on the counter and walked off. She was humiliated, probably, but I didn't give a damn. She was the one who put me on blast. Now, weeks later, I got this new gig at a tire shop, overtime sometimes, but I'm making bank. I got my own studio apartment now, $900 a month, lonely but mine. I got a little couch, a TV from the bodega sale, and a mattress on the floor, but it's clean. I got my car fixed, fresh tires, no more rattling engine. I feel good. I even got a crush on that girl who rings up tires. Her name's Tamika. She's always Logan, talks smack about the boss. I texted her, "You trying to grab a coffee?" And she said yes. That feel good. But at 2 a.m. some nights, I still scroll through those DMs. I see the messages where I was hurt, where I said, "Girl, please come back," and "I'll change," and "I can't breathe without you." I cringe. I hate that part of me, but I don't regret it, 'cause if I wasn't in love, she wouldn't have had nothing to post. She saw me beg. That's why she posted. I dwell on the moment I filed that suit, felt like a boss, but also like a rat. I realize I never really took accountability. I'm proud of getting her back, but I regret letting her get under my skin like that. I should have walked away, ghosted her when I found out she was tricking on me. But I didn't. I stayed in my feelings. I stayed vulnerable. I let those DMs build, and she got the receipts. But law's law. Defamation payment came through. Garnishment took care of my bills. Now I'm on my own building. I feel like I'm standing on new ground, hopeful for Tamika, my new gig, the apartment. But I keep looking over my shoulder, worrying she might come back with more dirt. But I lock that down tight. Every time I pocket that garnishment check, I feel a little sick, like I took from her family's pot for her dear education. But she gave me no choice. She chose clout over me. So yeah, that's my story. She posted our private messages for clout. I sued for defamation and garnished her income. That saga still haunts me, but I'm moving forward, no cap. And if anybody asks, I'll tell them, this hood drama ain't pretty, but it's real,